Okay. Two streets. Don't want you. Rookie, hi. Can you hear me now? Is there audio now? Yeah, thank you. Everybody, welcome. Machi. First time I'm seeing this. Machi. Machala. Abayomi, hi. Abayomi Chinyere. Is this Machi? Machala? Machala. 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 Charming Lily, hi. Machala. You've seen something funny, have you? Lady Zuzu, hi. King Gucci. Oh, Machuku. Awesome name. Machuku. Maureen, hi. Okay, I see. Oh, yeah, Mom. Yobo, thank you for the gift. Oh, I pronounced it very well. Thank you. I don't know the meaning. That's the thing. But I know that it has something to do with God, thank you, something like that. Facebook, thank you. Instagram, thank you. We can start now. But I want them to invite our people first. Beauty of God, thank you. Goodness of God, beauty of God. Say Yoruba intonation. The goodness of God, the goodness of your ancestors, the beauty of God. Tuaiba Daniel, thank you. Wealth, good evening. What is it? Lady Zuzu, thank you. If what is happening now with this whole laugh thing? What is happening? Beauty and style. Ifeoma Chukwu Emeka, thank you. Okay, so Has the links been sent? And to the VIP? Hmm? Oh, Holmes Arts, thank you. Thank you, Ayode Baba. Thank you. Mr. Michael Odu, I salute you. Oloriaji. Hey, my brother, how's it going? Hey, from Kampala, Joel. How is the city of Kampala today? Luis Okoyemi, Leon, thank you. Triumphant. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. When I was in Kampala, I noticed rain was falling every day. Always raining in Kampala. Till I left, always raining. Ada, good evening. Thank you for the gift. Wisdom Ewas. Greetings, sir. Ayatullah, greetings. Good evening. Mrs. Oyin Bernard, good evening. Thank you. I got the, yeah. Ulima. Where can I buy the blue eye bracelet you're wearing? In Abuja. It's tiger's eye. This, and then this. Nana Bonjour. Vaughn. Oh, Johannesburg, South Africa. I have added South Africa to my bucket list in January. In 2025. If you are in Abuja, just let me know. I can arrange that for you. If you are in Abuja, but we're going to have a store from 2025. We're going to have a store where you see elements like copper, like what I'm wearing here. What you're seeing here is made of copper, brass, and steel. Maybe one of these days I'll speak on the importance of copper, brass, and steel, and all of those other earth elements. And some of you have seen some of my signets that I wear. This is not a crystal signet. This is different. The purpose of this is not a crystal, but it has its purpose. But I have some signets I wear that what it is a signet infused with a lot of things like crystals, oil, seed, then enclosed in a signet. It's very essential. Accessories, everything is energy. So even the accessories that you wear, they are energy. Right? They are vibrating their own frequency. Let's go to today's lecture. What I want to share with you today is like a continuation of what we started on Sunday. And the law of the spirit. Kiton, yeah, they would reply you. The law of the spirit. Now, the reason I'm sharing this is because we are entering 2025. And when you look at numbers and their elements, the consensus belief is agreement is that when you look at the number 9, it is the number that combines, thank you, hashtag the law of the spirit. Thank you, Lady Zuzu. Hashtag the law of the spirit. I'm going to use I'm going to quote a lot of verses from religious texts, from the Bible, from the Quran, just to explain. I want to speak your language so you can understand. But the purpose, what I want to do tonight is to take the concept of the law of spirits beyond the boundaries of theology and doctrines. But the truth of the matter is, for you to really impact people with any knowledge that they are not used to, you must reach them first where they are, and then you can hold their hand and then lift them up from where they are. And you know, I've always said that esoteric knowledge sounds like an assault to the theology of a lot of people. Nana Afriye, good evening. So our job is not to sound like we are trying to shove it down their throat or force them to just drop everything they have always held on to in one night and just accept everything that we are saying. Because every human being must go through their own evolution. Every human being must go through their evolution. There are people who will forever hold on to dogmas and doctrines. A part of Ambassador greetings, part of their evolution demands that we let them take it one step at a time. So esoteric knowledge presented to you at first will sound like an assault to everything you have been taught, everything you have known. So what I want to do is to speak your language first, so you can understand better, and then I can reach out to you, and then I can hold your hand. Because the goal is actually to reach you, not just to preach to you or to teach you. And the reason why I want to start this series called The Law of the Spirit is because you are entering a year 9. When you look at numbers and their elements, the one number that either combines, I need ink in this thing, that either combines all the elements or is regarded as a non-elemental number, like the ethers, is the number 9. So you see most of the numbers, they are either an air element, water element, fire element, right? Some of them are wood, even wood elements. What is the meaning of this? Please tell Charles I'm live. Earth, air, fire, water, right? The fifth one in the Chinese system is either wood or steel, right? But when it comes to the universal perspectives of elements, the fifth element is usually the ether, the spirits. So the spirit is also regarded as an element, right? So 9 is the number that is either encapsulate all the elements, or it is not any of the elements. any of the physical elements. It is an ether element. It is a spirit. So it is the number of the spirit. So what that means is that you are entering a year of the spirit. So 2025 is the year of the spirit. And this is the foundation of the whole Africans and 9 ether beings and all of that. It means that because the spirit is the fulfillment of the law. The spirit is the fulfillment of the law. In the Freemason, they follow this routine. At the apex is the law of the spirit. And then you have the law of mind. And then you have the law of matter. So you see, the law of the spirit, the law of mind, the law of matter. The commonality is the fact that they are all laws. Because the universe, the multiverse itself is governed by an operating system, which are laws. Right? For the law of the spirit of life, I said that on Sunday. For the law of the spirit of life in the Christ consciousness, and I was able to correct that for you. Because listen to me, until you start taking texts out of theology, doctrinal, dogmatic context, and put them in perspective, put them in an esoteric perspective, you will not understand them in principle. You won't understand them in principle. Because listen, I don't care about your number, Sandra. Please. I don't like when I'm teaching and somebody is asking questions like this. Please. I will not stop. There are 113 people here. I like to pause and correct mentalities like this. There are 115 people here. Older, more experienced. You just came and I should just stop what I'm saying to them and address your case. It's a reflection of something. Because the proper thing to do is you've come, calm down and listen. That's what it is. There are a lot of people here they are more experienced, they are older, they've been here for how many minutes? You just came, I should tell you your number. No, I'm not telling you your number. Go and Google it. The law of the spirit, 1. The law of mind, 2. And the law of matter. Understand that the majority of people, they are here. They are too focused on what they can see, what they can touch, what they can perceive with their sense organs, aesthetics, their physical experiences, situations, and circumstances. They judge everything by what they can see. A spiritual man judges everything both by what they cannot see and what they can see. A carnal mind. See, what does it mean to be a carnal person? Because, religion has told you that to be a carnal person, you drink beer and you sleep with women. No. A carnal person is a person with an imbalanced consciousness. That's who a carnal person is. They are narrow-minded. They are shallow-minded. They are ignorant of the law of duality. What it is. The law of the spirit of life in the Christ consciousness. What does that mean? And the Christ here, that's why I added consciousness. The Christ here is not a person. I'm not referring to a person. I'm referring to an elevated consciousness. In numerology, 33. That's why some of you, if you clock 33 and you are still confused, it's going to require a lot of work for you to position yourself to make the rest of your life worthwhile. Because your 33-year-old is your age that you are meant to be initiated into an elevated consciousness, because you are going to approach 40. 40 is balance, right? That's why they say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. For the law of the spirit, so the spirit is a law, the mind is a law, matter is also a law, but they are all functioning at different dimensions. If your life is full of miseries, please listen to this carefully. If your life, and many times I've told you my story, this is why I do not care the calamity and the situation and the circumstances anybody is going through. I care for you enough to let you know that if your life is full of misery, it is because you are operating outside the law of the spirit. It's as simple as that. And ignorance of the law of the spirit is not an excuse in the court of the law of the spirit and in the court of life. Oh, they take you to the courts, for instance, and then maybe you unalived somebody, and then the judge said, okay, it's time to now, this is the verdict. You are going to serve 45 years in prison. Judge, I didn't know. I was ignorant that if I unalive a person, I'll go to prison. The judge doesn't give it. The verdict does not care your ignorance. Because a lot of us think that life should be fair to us because we are ignorant of the laws of nature. Because we are functioning outside the law of the spirit. So we think that life should just be fair. That's why you hear stuff like, Father, have mercy on me. Oluwa ṣàánú fún mi. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Law is law, period. Law is law. It says, God is not a respecter of persons. He is a respecter of principles. If your life is full of miseries, confusion, frustration, it's the simple reason for that. You are operating outside the law of the spirit of life. And ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. And because nature abhors vacuum, right? There's no vacuum in nature. So you are either operating by the law of the spirit of life, or you are functioning. You are under the influence of the law of scarcity. That's what Romans 8 calls the law of sin and death. So it calls it the law of sin and death. That's the law of scarcity. Now, let me explain it from. I said I'm going to speak your language. I want to meet you where you are. So I will meet you in the Bible. I will meet you in the Quran. I will reach out to you and then take you on a journey into esotericism. Right? So Romans 8 says, for the law of the spirit of life. But it started by saying, there is therefore now no condemnation. One of the things that a lot of people need to start doing, because listen, if you really study religious books properly and you study them, it will lead you into esotericism. You will figure out that there is more to this. People who want to argue with their religious books are people who haven't even read them, or they have read them casually, religiously. When you look at every word from an etymological perspective, from the hermeneutics, from the science of scriptures, what is the science behind this? It will shock you that it will lead you into a higher realm, and most times outside that book, you will discover that most of the questions you can't find answers to in the book is outside the book. And that's why I've always said that an alchemist does not dismiss and condemn things it does not resonate with. So everything is useful to an alchemist. Listen, preparing for 2025, I've gone back to studying the Bible again, studying the Quran, studying the Epic of Gilgamesh. I'm reading a lot of books, religious texts, occult books. I'm reading them. Sufism, I am reading them. Because listen, nature, one of the things you must be, even the Torah, one of the things that you must become For you to succeed in the new year 2025 is you must become a true alchemist. Everybody is just talking about alchemists. They think it's just, the so-called spiritual awakening is watering down spirituality. Have you noticed that? Everybody claiming they are spiritual. So it's just big words. It's just big words. Because a true alchemist does not condemn and dismiss everything they don't resonate with. It's a fashion now. It's a fashion. As long as you can put camera and lights. It's a fashion. And listen, anyone who is not operating by the law of the spirit, it does not matter their intelligence. They are going to be limited. They are going to be limited. Because nature abhors vacuum. You are either operating by the law of the spirit or you are operating by the law of scarcity. There is therefore now no condemnation, meaning no disenfranchisement, no denial, no restriction, no limitation to those who are in the Christ consciousness. That's the first thing. You must be in that consciousness, the energy of master number 33. And you are entering 2025, which is the creative chord, the creative concord. Right? So it is not just 9 that is functional and powerful in 2025. The master number 33, you must be in that state. Then when you are in that state of elevated consciousness, the Christos consciousness, what happens is, for the law of the spirit of that consciousness has freed you. It will set you free from the law of scarcity, from the law of death. Death is not just the cessation of life. Death can mean, a business that was thriving, not thriving again. Death can mean a marriage that was, blissful, now becoming a major frustration. If your life is full of misery, you are operating outside the law of the spirit, and ignorance is not an excuse in the court of law. Now, please understand something. The most powerful people in every sphere of life, the most powerful people that you see, whether it's in banking, it's in entertainment, it's in politics, name them, anywhere that you see it, in any sphere of life, they either belong to a secret society or they have studied principles beyond religious boundaries. It's either of those two things. It's either they are in Rosicrucian or they have studied everything about the Rosicrucian order. It's either they are Freemason or they have studied a lot of things about Freemasonry. It's either they are in Illuminati or they have studied everything about the Illuminati. I just told a friend of mine, he's here tonight, my brother in the US. I sent him a list of some books I want to buy. Occult books. Those are the 2025 occult. All the Freemason books I've not read, I'm reading them. Because you necessarily don't have to sell your soul to anybody. Right? But you can study. Because if your life is full of misery, it's because you don't have knowledge. Someone said it's a perfecting Rosicrucian. Fantastic. Listen to this, guys. Why do we have laws? Why do we have laws? What is the purpose of law? Yes. What is the purpose of law? The reason we have laws is so that there can be justice. That's why we have laws. That's why where there is lawlessness, there is injustice. The situation of Nigeria where you have is because there is lawlessness, so there can't be justice. You cannot get justice in the court of law in Nigeria. It's for orderliness. The purpose of law is for justice. When there is lawlessness, and so there is miscarriage of justice. So listen, if there is misery in your life, If your life is full of turmoil, confusion, frustration, depression, you are misplacing things and losing things. You are abusing opportunities. You are building with one hand, destroying with the other. When you are meant to be building with one hand and battling with the other, then you are operating outside the law of the Spirit. Thank you for that. Order is the fear of chaos. You are operating outside the law of the Spirit. Now, there is an aspect I want to go to tonight so that you can understand this better. This is going to be a series. Part of the law of the Spirit is, because when you are functioning under this law, what happens to you is that you are influenced by the spirit of that law, right? You are influenced by the spirit of that law. So everything about your life becomes a product of a system that is operational, that is functional, that is eternal, because it is the law of the Spirit. Because the law of the Spirit are simply principles that guide not just your life, but they guide the universe. They guide you through through transformation, through personal transformation. They guide you and put you in alignment with the higher power. They guide you and put you in alignment with the cosmos, with the cosmic intelligence. Now listen, the Spirit is water. You see, the comparison of water and the Spirit in religious texts is, there are so many of them, verses and scriptures talking about the Spirit and water. Except a man be born of water and of Spirit. Except this. So it would always equate Spirit with water. Right? So the Spirit most times is also referred to as water. So the Spirit is fluid, right? One of the major characteristics of water is that water flows. That's why you see water can cut through the rock. Water can create its own passage through the rock. Because people think that fire is stronger than water. Water can cut a human being into two due to the pressure. Depending on the strength of the pressure of water, it can do a damage. Look at all the, what you call it? Tsunami. Look at tsunami, for instance. That's the rage of water. Water can damage and destroy. That's why the Spirit is referred to as water in many cases, because the Spirit is fluidity. If there are restrictions in your life, if you notice that there is no progress in your life, it is because there is no fluidity. There is no flow of energy. There is no flow of energy. Tsunami, for instance, yes. When you are living under the law of the Spirit, there is freedom. But this is where it gets interesting. People always think that freedom is the audacity to be irresponsible. But let me tell you, the more freedom you have, the more responsible you are meant to become. Because freedom is also authority, and authority is responsibility. Now, if you are living under a law, it simply means that you are living responsibly, because everybody wants to be lawless. The major problem we have in the Nigerian society is that the majority of people are lawless. They need the military to bring out Koboko before they act right. They don't have the principle of self-government. The law of the Spirit of life is the law of self-government. You don't have to be told everything you need to do. Because when it comes to the law of the Spirit, there are many times that what you need to do, right? You don't have to be told by anybody. You are meant to know what to do by yourself. Because the law of the spirit refers to spiritual principles. Basically, they are spiritual principles. They are not religious doctrines and dogmas. They are principles backed by universality. Now look at this. In Job, it says, there is a vital force of intelligence in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty gives them understanding. So one of the blueprints, one of the blessings of living by the law of the Spirit is that the vital force of intelligence in you is connected to the inspiration of the Almighty. And the moment that happens, you gain what? You gain understanding. There is a vital force of intelligence in all of creation. There are a lot of people, they are very intelligent, but they are limited. Because standard, everything is intelligent. This marker is intelligent. That's why I can use it to write and it works. Everything is intelligent. Everything you can see in your consciousness, the reason you can see them is because they are intelligent, animate and inanimate. Because there is a vital force of intelligence in all of creation. From the gigantic elephant, the elephant is intelligent, to the microscopic ant on the floor, to the cockroach, everything, all of creation is intelligent. To apes and animals, to the biggest orangutan, the worst charlatan is intelligent, because everything that you see in the earth realm is alive. And as long as it is alive, and when we say it's alive, we're not necessarily talking about the soul of a human being. It is the reason you are seeing it is because it is alive. But it is the inspiration of the Almighty. It is the inspiration of infinite intelligence that gives you understanding, so you can know, so you can understand what you know. This is a major aspect of the law of the Spirit. One of the ways to know that you are functioning by the law of the Spirit is that you are never stuck. You are never stranded. You know what to do part-time. Because the law, when you are under that law, it activates the vital force of intelligence in you, and then it merges it with the inspiration of the Almighty, the inspiration of the cosmic intelligence. And everybody you see that is commanding any result that you envy, this is how they are living their intelligence. Some people will not be able to make anything of their intelligence, because all they have is intelligence. They don't have understanding. Some people call it understanding. Understanding. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Now, listen to this. The biggest fraud that has robbed a lot of us of our share of the commonwealth of the universe is the separatist ideology. And it's not just religion now. Even the mainstream media, even the educational system, the agenda is to cause you to function from an imbalanced consciousness where you are thinking about only one thing. You separate it. If you want to think about your spirit, you are thinking about your spirit as the spirit. If you want to think about the soul as a soul. If you want to think about the body as the body. You are meant to think about everything as one. The law of divine oneness. That's one of the laws of the spirit, the law of divine oneness. Everything is one. Nothing is separate. The spiritual and the physical are not separate. The spiritual and the material, they are happening simultaneously at the same time. Everything is interconnected. Your spirit, your soul, your body, they are functioning simultaneously. And that's why you notice that the state of your mind determines the state of your manifested realities. Oh no, but you think they are separate. So you think I can think a certain way and expect a different result in my life. No, it doesn't work that way. So every thought and action and energy that you emit, they influence your 3D reality. And then your unseen realities, they are influencing your unseen realities and your 3D realities. Every thought that you have, every word that you speak. Because, see, everything is interconnected. Everything is interconnected. Listen, sometimes people ask me, how often do you pray? I'm like, okay, how often do I pray? Even now, as I'm talking to you, I'm praying. I am always praying. Although there are times that you do some things, some rituals, but I am, because as long as you're always dialoguing with yourself, as long as you're always thinking, you are praying. That's what it is. Because the goal is to ensure that your spirit is separate from your body. Your body is separate from your soul. And the result of that is imbalanced consciousness. And this is why people are cut off from the divinity in themselves. So they think that their divine self or their spirit is outside of them, is somewhere. Right. So cultivating compassion and recognizing the divinity in yourself is the key to activating the law of divine oneness. Recognizing that as you are sitting down there watching and listening right now, divinity is in you. Divinity, God is right there in you, because by virtue of your chi, your ori, the God is in you right here, right now. You are one with God. Because when you pray, who do you pray to? That was another topic for another day. Let's stay focused. If I answer your question, I'm going to deviate. And I've not even started. This is a series. This is going to be for, like maybe 3, 4, 5 days. So I will answer your question, but not today. Recognize the divinity in yourself. It begins with that one. Then recognize the divinity in others. The law of the universal egg, right? As I am, so are you. Right? So when I look at you, I am seeing myself. Recognize the divinity in yourself. So the moment you are able to recognize, do you know why people don't recognize the divinity in other people? Because they have not recognized it in themselves. It's as simple as that. So the first step is recognizing the divinity in yourself. Then you can also see it in others. Recognize the God in you, then you can see that God in other people. The law of correspondence. Listen, when you really study religious texts, you will discover, if you pay attention, you will discover that hidden in those texts are codes that you are meant to decipher. And those codes are meant to lead you to other dimensions outside the book. Because the law of the spirit is borderless. It does not have boundaries, no limitations, no restrictions. But hidden in those texts are principles, are divine ordinances that when you decipher them and you break them down into pieces, they take you outside the book, because there is so much to the law to know that it can never be encapsulated in just one book. There is so much to the universe and to God to know that God can never be put in the box of any religion or any book. But it's a great starting point. The cards. It's a great starting point, because when you look at the laws like the law of correspondence, it's all over religious books. As above, so below. Behold, I have given you the keys of the kingdom. And whatsoever you bind on earth is what is already bound in heaven. And whatsoever you loose on earth, whatsoever you permit, the amplified version says, whatsoever you permit on earth is what is already permitted in heaven. Whatsoever you forbid on earth is what is already forbidden in heaven. So as above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. As without, so within. Patterns repeat across different planes of existence. Your internal state reflects your external reality. These are some of the laws that even adults find it very difficult to accept. But it is the law of the spirit. It is the law of nature. Nobody can argue with the truth. It is a universal truth. It is not a doctrine. It is not a dogma. It is not somebody's opinion. You know, you hardly hear me share my opinion about things like this. My opinions are private to me. I apply them in my private life. But when it comes to principles and laws that affect the collective, they must be governed by universal laws. Your internal state would always reflect your external reality. So your external state is not necessarily what influences your internal state. It is your external state that will determine what happens in your external. Because the operations in your mind, the operating system governing your beliefs. So your behavior is influenced by your beliefs. As above, so below, as within, so without, period. So if you are seeing scarcity in your life, check within yourself. There are thoughts of scarcity, thoughts of frustration. You know, today, we went to Asokoro today, and if you know Asokoro Abuja very well, you would agree with me that if you have been there in the last couple of months, Toyota Prado 2025 is about 200 million naira, right? How many people, if you know the price here, can you type it? Toyota Prado is about 200 million naira. Okay? Right now. But guess what? In Asokoro, Abuja, you cannot stand on the road or park somewhere. Every 10 minutes, you will see a 2025 car of 200 million drive past you. Every 20 minutes. And I sat down, I thought about it. What is the implication of this? It simply means that the only law is the law of supply. Scarcity is artificial. Scarcity is man-made. Scarcity is a human invention. Scarcity is not the law of the spirit. For the law of the spirit of life, which is the law of supply, has freed me from the law of sin and death, which is the law of scarcity. If people can afford a 200 million naira car, I don't care how they got it, because some people say they are thieves, they stole the money. Well, the money exists here. That's why they are able to access the money to buy such cars. And then the same country and environment where some people are crying that they don't have 2,000 naira, some people are just driving 200 million naira car. Like it's pure water all over the place. Because I've seen people, right, who they do not believe in scarcity. Even in their states of misery, they don't believe in scarcity. I've told you my story several times, right? Even when I was in the gutter, I did not complain about Nigeria. I was in the gutter. I was not complaining about Nigeria. Because when you are governed by the law of the spirit, you know what happens to you? Your spirit will always rise above your circumstances and situation. When your life is governed by the law of the spirit, your spirit will always lift you up above situations and circumstances. So the people around you may see you in a gutter, but your spirit is not in that gutter. Your spirit is above. Let me give you a trick. There are a lot of people right now. I was telling someone yesterday, I said, do you know that when it comes to your spiritual journey, there are many problems in your life that your goal is not to solve those problems? Because many times a lot of people have stayed too long on a particular mountain because they are trying to solve the problem. No, you are meant to rise above the problem. You are meant to rise and act like the problem doesn't even exist. And one of my sisters, she was talking to me yesterday, one of our sisters in the community, and she said, do you know what all these teachings has done to her? I said, what? She said, I am in a state of tranquility. Like there are things that happen to me these days that before now, I will start fidgeting. I'll be worried. What do I do now? What's going to happen tomorrow? And she said, but now, I just saw the letter. I just looked at it like I smiled. That is where a lot of people are meant to be. Because see, you cannot fight a problem at the level of that problem. The eagle does not fight any animal on ground. It elevates. It takes that animal to the sky, to the heights. Because the eagle is stronger when it is functioning from a place of height. When we are functioning from a place of carnality, you know what happens to us? What happens to us is we judge everything from the physical perspective. We judge everything by our situation and our circumstances. What's happening? I don't have money in my account. What's going to happen to my business? But this business is crashing now. And you wake up every morning. That's what you are thinking about. This business. I have only 30K left in my bank account. Hey, what am I? So your attention is focused on that scarcity. And wherever energy goes, power flows. And this is the law of correspondence. It does not matter how you cry and you beg God for mercy. If this is the operating system in you, that's what you're going to see in your reality. Because you see, I've seen people who have this kind of mentality, and yet every song of mercy, they know it. Oluwa ṣàánú mi o. They think it's about Oluwa ṣàánú mi o, and they are crying. No, it's not about that. You will cry, and nothing is going to happen. Because there is a conflict between the song you are singing and your state of mind. As above, so below. As within, so without. If your life is full of misery, you're operating outside the law of the Spirit. And when you're operating outside the law of the Spirit, you're operating from the place of scarcity, the place of death. That's what's happening. Now, one of the ways to actually align yourself with the law of correspondence, as above, so below, is to work on inner transformation. Work on inner transformation so you can influence your outer world. To influence your outer world, you must influence your inner world first. See, it is not about conversion. It's about transformation. I always tell people, I'm not trying to convert anybody from anything. I'm not even telling anybody to leave their religion. Stay in your religion. As long as you can transform yourself from within you, your outer world, it will reflect in your outer world. Because listen, as above, so below. As within, so without. And it has nothing, many times, it has nothing to do with how you pray, who you pray to, what you eat. Because listen, there are people who don't even know anything about what we are saying. And unconsciously, they are functioning by the law of the Spirit. And they are not in a place of scarcity. So how much more with all the knowledge and intelligence when the kingdom of heaven is within you? Now, there are many people. See, I'm going to tell you this. Because this is a year that has more or less shown a lot of people what people call Shege Pro Max, right? There are people right now who believe that everybody in Nigeria is suffering based on how much trouble and challenges they have faced this year. They don't believe that anything good has happened to anybody this year. Yeah, there are people like that. Because they look at their life in 2024, they can't even say that this is one good thing that happened to me. And the reason their situation is like that, listen, is because of their state of mind. It's because they are be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Their mind is not transformed. They are not renewing their mind. They're not renewing. Yeah, I don't care about whether you stay in your religion, whether you live in your religion. I don't care. I'm not trying to force anybody out of their religion. My sister is here. She's a Christian. She goes to church. But she will do what is in her mind. Right? She will do what is in her mind. So because there has been that accusation, people thinking that somebody is trying to get them to leave their religion. Stay in your religion. Nobody is asking you to leave anything. If you stay there, if you want to stay there, it's your choice. It's your choice. There were things I believed 20 years ago, 10 years ago that I could die for. I don't believe in them any longer. So face your own human evolution. When you evolve to that place where you know that I don't need this again, make that choice by yourself. You are an adult. But the most important thing that you must pay attention to is what is going on inside you. What's going on inside you? I have a friend who, you know, this what God can do does not exist. This boy, he has not missed it for 2 years. 2 years, he has not missed it. He's a multi-billionaire. But his billions is not dependent on his, what God cannot do does not exist. Right? He may think so, but I have looked at his life and I noticed that this guy is actually functioning by the law of the Spirit. He's just looking for something to attach it to because he can't explain it in words. He can't explain why he functions the way he's functioning. So he has to attach something like that to it since he doesn't have the right words to use for it. So I would be a fool to tell him, trash that thing you are watching. Stop watching it. No. Keep watching what you're watching. As you open your mind to esoteric knowledge, you will understand that most of these results you are commanding, whether you join those things or not, you will still command those results. But for now, keep doing what you are doing. You are going to evolve and grow into that place. The most important thing is what is going on inside you. Because there are people who are claiming spirituality now and their life is full of shit. Try to use that word. Their life is full of miseries. They can't command any results. Because it is not about jumping from one thing to another. It's about what is going on inside you. Inside you. Are you transforming yourself from the inside out so that you can influence your outer world positively? Because if you are not, nothing is going to happen. It doesn't matter how much esoteric knowledge you carry on your head. Because listen to me, the first place to begin when it comes to spirituality, right, is the place of nothingness. Let me tell you one of the things. I'll give you a secret to this. This is what I do. Right. This is what I do. When they are telling me it's 1 hour, and we have said we will not be doing more than 1 hour again. Okay, don't worry. I'll just give it more time. This is a series, so I'm going to continue. Today is more or less like we're laying the foundation. Whenever I am in a place where I want to embark on something, I'm sharing this secret with you. Right? You know what I do? I do all the necessary and the possible. And I listen a lot. I listen to people a lot. Especially if I know that you have something to offer me. If you have something upstairs, I would listen to you. I listen to everything. Right? And then I take all those things, they become treasure to me, and then I keep them. And then I go into my secret place. And what I do is put all those things on the universal scale of cosmic intelligence. And the moment I do that, I gain understanding. I will begin to gain understanding of every information and data I have gathered. And sometimes, if I need to change something about those some people cannot change anything about themselves. Even if the strategy is not working, they will, as long as their ego is satisfied, they're going to stick to it. And there are people right now who are suffering. They are in a very bad place, and yet they are sticking to the same method and formula that is not working. As long as my ego is boosted, as long as my ego is satisfied, I'm sticking to this, but it is not working. And why do you think that there are many people pouring their frustration on others? Because their formula is not working, but they don't want to turn around to a place of nothingness. They don't want to admit that as much as you think you are wise, right? There are many things you don't know. And the moment you come to that place of understanding, it's a place of surrender. Many people, you need to surrender. You need to surrender everything you know. You're not trashing them, you're not dismissing them, you're not throwing them away. You are surrendering them to infinite intelligence that is in you. Like then, my soul, the soul of a person is the candle of God. When you surrender, what you are doing is you are sending your soul on an assignment, and your soul is the light. Your soul will light up the darkness, and it will look for situations, strategies that you would need, that you will use to power anything you want to power. But many people know they don't want that. The first thing is their ego. Their ego must be satisfied. And as long as it is satisfied, even if they are not successful, even if what they are doing fails, no problem. I have my ego. Because in spirituality, listen to me, two things that will hinder people from authentic spirituality is ego and judgment. The law of the spirit does not entertain ego and judgments. Because the reason why you judge is because you have ego. So the misappropriation of the ego energy is the reason why many people are stuck. They don't want to admit that, no, this is not working. You know how many times I have admitted that what I'm doing is not working? There are people who won't listen to anybody. There are people, they won't even listen to anybody. And one of the ways to know that you're not listening to cosmic intelligence is how you treat the people around you who have nothing to lose or gain from your progress. If you trash everybody's advice and you think that you are the absolute embodiment of wisdom, it is proof that all you have is your intelligence. You don't have divine understanding. The inspiration of the Almighty is what gives understanding. You don't have that. All you have is intelligence, and it will reflect in everything you are doing. It will reflect. As much as people want to cover up with their ego, it reflects. It is reflecting. Because when you function from the place of the law of the spirit, you know what happens? Energy flow. Fluidity. You flow naturally. Somebody was talking to me about my social media, how that, this can be bigger. Because I listen to people, I can listen to you for 1 hour. I'm one of those people that if you decide to talk to me and you don't want me to talk, you will just see me, I'll just do like this. 1 hour, I'm listening to you. 1 hour, speak, no problem. I'm not that type of person that will bump into you every time I want to interrupt you. No. Talk, I'm listening. Or every data is there is potential in every data. There is prospect in every data. So talk, I listen. That's why let me give you a tip. That's why I listen to people when they have private session with me. You won't let me talk. You want to, no problem. Well, I'm enjoying you. I'm taking my data and my note from what you are saying. So maybe we'll use it later because I am very good at listening. And I just listened, and the person made some statement and said, you know, what if you lose this account? You have lost everything. And I heard statements like, you know, sometimes you need to tell people what to do so that they can come to your page. My brothers and my sisters, I have never in my life, Ibro is here. Have I ever in my life posted on anywhere, please follow me on social media? I have never done it. I have never done it. We just woke up one morning, we were 50,000. We woke up one morning, we were 100,000. We woke up one, we were 120,000. We woke up, I have never posted that please follow me or share my post. I would never do it because listen, we got here by the leading of the Spirit. It's not just intelligence. There are many times, listen, I'm telling you so you can understand the importance of the vital force of intelligence in you that puts you in a place of humility and surrender so that the inspiration of the Almighty can give you understanding, so you can understand your intelligence. I will never do it, Joel, don't worry about that one. There are many times I just hear a word, make this video and do this, and that's it. No argument. There are many times that video you made, delete it. That thing you said, cancel it. If you cannot rearrange your philosophy, you are not functioning by the law of the Spirit. And that's why people struggle in their career, in their profession, in their business. They are struggling. The people who do real estate with me, they know the way I operate. There are many people can call me for 20 days, I won't answer them. Because the Spirit is not convinced to move on it. And 9 out of 10 times, if I decide to pursue a deal, it will close. Because listen, when you exercise your spirit to respond to the things that will serve you and not your ego, it becomes an operating system that begins to work. Where other people are struggling and they are dying, if I lose this TikTok, I've not lost anything in my life. Because that's very laughable that if a person loses their TikTok, they've lost everything. How? We'll start another one. Or we'll go to Instagram. Because listen, the confidence does not come from the place of ego. The confidence comes from the place of the law of the Spirit. That's where my confidence comes from. That's where the confidence comes from. It doesn't come from ego. So when your confidence comes from the place of the law of the Spirit, you know what happens to you? There's no attachment to anything. No attachment. You are not attached. You're not attached. I am not attached to anything. I am not attached to my TikTok page I am not attached to social media. One of the ways to know that is do I post my main business on social media? Because I don't even believe that my main business should be on social media. It is my knowledge that I want to spread on social media, and yet I am not still attached to it. Because I'm functioning from the place of the Spirit. If there is something I should not do, the Spirit will tell me. Well, we wanted to do something, and then I sat down, I was having a meeting, and Ibro said, let's not do it like that. And I looked at it and I said, yes, we will not do it like that. Because my spirit was convinced that it was the Spirit that was speaking to me through him, right? But you know, there are people who they must go ahead, whatever they have said they are going to do. The flesh profits nothing. It is the Spirit that gives life. The flesh profits nothing. It is the spirit that gives life. The flesh profits nothing. It is the spirit that gives life. So if there is struggle, if there is 2-year struggle, 3-year struggle, 5-year struggle, it is abnormal. It is abnormal. There's not anybody can tell me it is abnormal. Any condition you cannot change in 3 to 6 to 9 months, something is wrong with you. Leave that condition. It is you. You are functioning outside the law of the spirit of life. Because the law of the spirit of life is the law of supply. It's the law of creative solution. And guess what? You are entering the year that will reward you based on the strength of your spirit. You are entering the year that will reward you based on the strength of your spirit. 2025 will not reward you only based on the strength of how smart you are or how knowledgeable you are. It will reward you on the strength of your spirit, your authentic spirituality, not social media spirituality. Because there is social media spirituality. People who have no spiritual culture of social media, they don't have any spiritual culture of social media. Authentic spiritual culture. Yes, they are uploaded on YouTube. That's what 2025 will reward you on. "2025 will reward even your relationship based on the strength of your spirit. Not on how great you are about kissing and smooshing. No. Not based on how, yeah, all those things are good. No, it's not based on how, wow, I have all these beautiful, brilliant ideas. Yeah, brilliant ideas are good. But your connection to infinite intelligence, for there is a vital force of intelligence in everyone. If you think you are the most intelligent person, there is someone who is more intelligent than you. But guess what? The interesting part, there is someone who is dumb, more dumb. Your intelligence is up there. Their own dumbness, right, is down. They are not close to you by any means, in any way, intelligence-wise. But you see the kind of results they are commanding. Because it is not about how much you know. It is the strength of a man's spirit. Some people may not be able to articulate the functionalities of their spirits. There are people who there is an operation going on in their spirit. When they move, it is result. They don't cloud chase. When they speak, it is result. They may not have oratory skill like me, or be able to articulate why those workings are going on in their lives. But they are commanding results. There are many people like that because it is the strength of their spirit that is driving them to do the right thing at the right time, say the right thing at the right time, be at the right place at the right time. It is the strength of their spirit. Not what they have accumulated in their archive. No. It is the strength of their spirit. And this is why many times when intelligent people see people they think are dumb, commanding results, intelligent people get upset. They get bittered. You know why? Because an average intelligent person feels that, why should I be this intelligent and I cannot command the result of this person? Because you think it is just by your intelligence. There is an understanding that person has that you don't have. Yeah, there's an understanding the person has that you don't have. You can articulate, you can communicate, you can analyze. The person cannot. Every of their analysis, articulation, expression, they put it in their work. They are putting it in their work and they are commanding massive results. There is a young man in this city who He can't even, if you ask him to tell you 5 strategies of marketing in real estate, he can't even tell you one. But when he moves into the market, when he moves into the real estate market, when he is pursuing a deal, right? Every articulated intelligence bow to him, right? Bow to him, because it is functioning by the strength of his spirit, not just the word of mouth, the strength of his spirit. And that is the pattern of 2025. By the you know why I'm spending a lot of time on this period from January 2025. The people I'm going to give most of my attention to are the VIP community and the Manifest Good Premium. I'm going to spend very minimal, less time on my social media for any live session, because listen, divine wisdom, right? Divine wisdom, esoteric principles are meant for people who are ready. They are meant for people who are ready to execute, not for people who don't want to accumulate knowledge. Just, the session was massive. Massive. Okay, massive. Okay, alpha. Massive alpha. After massive, what? Onoja Sunday, thank you. Massive alpha. Because I know, brothers, listen to me. It is not impossible for you to manifest every of your desire for 2025 in 3 to 6 to 9 months of 2025. It is not impossible. It is not rocket science. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. It is not impossible to do that. The cheapest, easiest shortcuts is to put yourself under the influence of the law of the spirit of life. And I'm talking about the laws of nature. The laws of nature. Understanding the laws of nature is going to help you speed up. This is what they call divine speed. Divine speed. When your life is governed by the law of nature, it is divine speed. It gives you divine speed. When you live a life of rituals and routines, you are under the law of the spirit, because the law of the spirit is the law of rituals and routines. It is not just about talk. Because listen, understanding is the bridge between knowledge and action. That's what understanding is. Understanding is the bridge between knowledge and action. The moment you get understanding, you act. The reason why people cannot act, the reason they don't want to act, is because they don't have understanding. They have knowledge, they don't have understanding. They have not mastered what they know to the point where they have confidence to act on it. And understanding is best granted when it is from the place of infinite intelligence. So you know exactly what to do, you know how to do it, you know when to do it. Timing, you know exactly what to do, you know when to do it, and you know how to do it. That's what it is. And you are never stranded. You are never stuck. Even when you are faced with a situation that looks like you are stranded, no, I can't be stranded. In this same country where people are selling out 4 real estate developments in less than 8 months, I can't be stranded. If there is so much abundance all around, then why should I live in scarcity? Why should I live in scarcity? What you focus on magnifies, because it is the law. It is a law. You focus on scarcity, it magnifies. See, let me tell you, it will be worse in 2025 for people who focus on negativity. It's going to be worse. 2024 is just an introductory session. And I'm not a prophet of doom here. It is the introduction to suffering. For people who want to stick to their negativity and not put themselves under the law of the spirit of life that will liberate them from the law of scarcity. 2025 is, that year, destroyer year. But I know it will not be like that for you. It won't be that way for you. And this is why you have to open your heart to knowledge. Now, listen to me, guys. I'm going to close with this. When people hear, do you know why many times I withhold myself from telling people what to do? Do you know why? Because I have an understanding about spiritual things. Right? Now, the best thing anybody can do for you is to open your heart to knowledge. I'm going somewhere. They cannot help you to understand that knowledge. Nobody can help you understand knowledge. Understanding is your responsibility. So there are people here who need to surrender. There are people here who need to take a 7 days break and just go somewhere. But there are people who need to go into action from tomorrow. How would you know what you are meant to do? Understanding. It is personal. I'm not the one that should tell you that. Because one of the things that people are using to prove that they are authority is they have answers to everybody's questions. I don't. I don't have answers to all your questions. The best I can do for you is to open your heart to knowledge. And when you are receptive, if your heart is pliant enough to receive that knowledge, you are going to conceive it. You see, the way a woman opens her legs, when a woman wants to get pregnant, she must open her leg very well so that the man can put it inside and then the sperm can travel faster and then meet the egg. You cannot want to get pregnant and you are doing like this. You are closing your leg. No, open. What kind of illustration is this? You open it. And then guess what happens? The sperm meets the egg, and then before you know it, it becomes the blood. It becomes fetus. It starts growing. The flesh starts adding up. The liver grows. The kidney, everything, the body parts, everything starts growing. Respiratory system starts growing. That's exactly what is meant to happen to you. When you open your heart to a knowledge like this, all the other aspects, the incubation, the growth, they are personal to you. Because there are tailor-made ideas, concepts that you need that are meant to be tailor-made for you. It may not work. What works for someone else may not work for you. In most cases, it won't work for you. And that's the lazy part. Most people want you to open their heart to knowledge, help them understand the knowledge, and then even help them act on that knowledge. No, it doesn't. Anybody telling you that, they are lying to you. They are lying to you. It doesn't work that way. Understanding is your prerogative, is your responsibility to understand the knowledge. It's your responsibility right now to take everything you've learned tonight and go and expand on it by yourself. Begin a research into it. And listen, because you are not just a body, you are a spirit, you are a soul. Because these words are meant to light up your soul. So when you begin your own personal research, what happens to you is your soul will start searching. It's like a torch that searches for other truths that would help you become better. Other truths that will help you become better. And then you know what happens? You start discovering other dimensions. And the more you discover them, the more the truth in you is activated. And the more you figure out, this is what I need to do. Okay, I need to do this. I need to do this. Tailor-made ideas, inspired thoughts, inspired actions. You begin to be led by your intuition, not by 7 steps to what anybody said can lead you to your success. Hmm. And that's the part that many people don't want. No. You must tell me everything I need to do. No. It is better that you discover it yourself, so it is more sustainable. Hmm. So imagine you discover the key to your business success. Right? Frank the I greet you. The recipe. It's like asking Coca-Cola to, it's like Pepsi asking Coke to give them their recipe. When you are meant to go and develop your own recipe in the secret place, that's what you are meant to do. People can challenge you. People can inspire you. People can help you activate, but people cannot help you understand. There are people right now who they are meant to separate from whatever relationship they are in. But there are people who are meant to stick to that relationship and make it work. Different strokes for different folks. And you only know that by the inspiration of the Almighty. It is the inspiration of the cosmos that gives understanding. Please mute this person, please. And guess what? The moment you start traveling on that lane, you know what happens to you? You are no longer perturbed. You are no longer, you magnetize everything you need. If you desire something, you magnetize it easily. You're no longer in that place of worry and anxiety. You're no longer in that place of drama. You are in a place of rest. That's the place of rest. That's the place where no matter how troublesome life is, you are able to say to yourself, I'm going to rise above it. You know, lions don't fight dogs. A lion will tear a dog apart. But a lot of you are a lion. You are fighting small problems. Problems you are meant to ignore and move on. Thank you, Maureen. Things that you are meant to overlook and just move on. You want to fight every dog that barks. Thank you, Maureen. Every dog that barks, you want to fight them. And you are a lion. Because there is attachment. There are a lot of, the moment someone starts acting like a charlatan, I ignore them like they no longer exist. Because there is no attachment to anything. The only attachment I have is to impact people with knowledge. If they don't want it, no problem. Others who want it will come and get it. Because I am not, when you understand that you're not working alone, you are working by the law of the Spirit, then you know that you are not alone. You have an army working with you. And this is the only way, not just 2025, this is the only way to go through a year unhurt. Because every year will present to you its challenges and its opportunities. 2025 is going to do that. And now there are many people, a lot of people have told me, somebody said this on social media about 2025, hey. It's because you don't want to function by the law of the Spirit. I don't care what anybody's chart. I don't care what anybody's reading is saying about 2025. You make the year what you want it to be for you. Yes, knowing the chart and readings is good information to have. But how the year is going to be, as a Lord of the universe, you make it what you want it to be, how you want it to be. So away with all this cheap spiritualists on social media telling you because Rahu is in your planet, your number is this. Then 2025, just go and lock yourself up in your room and do nothing about your life. It is the biggest buffoonery I've heard in my life. You are a spirit in motion. But nobody can have the capacity and the courage for all this if they are not functioning by the law of the spirit of life. And if you're not functioning by the law of the spirit of life, you know what happens? You're going to function by the spirit of sin and death, which is the spirit of scarcity. GG33. I don't care about those people. Nobody will tell me how my year will be. Because even numerology is not my idol. It's not my God. So I will get the information, but it cannot control me. How? You know, people are always looking for chains. Now they've left religion. They are the ones now looking for chains by themselves to chain themselves. Because now they think that religion is not chaining them. It's okay for them to chain themselves in BS stories and fear mongering. Mercury retrograde. Don't go out, oh, don't do this, or don't do that. Go and tell that to puppets. Your TV will spoil. Your phone will not work. Your this will this. These are mentally and spiritually lazy people. Forget about all these spiritual awakening people who are crying all over the place. Many people are just lazy, irresponsible people. Period. And 2029 is not the year. And that's why, personally, the way I'm going to be serious in 2025, I'm going to be more serious than this. Thank you, Michael Odu. I'm going to be more serious than this. And that's why I've told you, social media, max, I'm on here for 1 hour. Maybe once every week or twice every week. Because listen, nothing. Someone said he remembered how he changed himself with 9 energy in September. All this nonsense are just putting you people in bondage. All this nonsense. Something that is meant to be a tool that you use, you're allowing it to use you. You are the source. Everything outside you are tools that you are meant to use. Why should anybody tell you that because 2025 is a 9-year, you should lock yourself in your house? Don't do anything serious with your life. How? Thank you, Oprah. People are now creating their own shackles. Religion is no longer their shackles. Now they have to create their own shackles. The knowledge they are meant to use as a tool has now become their shackles and their prison. So they are now in the prison of numerology, in the prison of astrology. When they are meant to be the one in control of their numbers. Based on my numerology charts and my astrology, 2024, I'm not even meant to be talking like this in 2024. I'm meant to just be bowing my head. Wow, Femi Jubal. How? Which reading? Which chart? I am the one in control of the charts. The chart came from me, right? It proceeded out of me. But thank you, Moms Breaking. They are afraid of their own power and sovereignty. That's it. They are afraid of their own power, their own personal sovereignty. They don't want to exploit. Oh, but my Rahu. That's why I'm not married. Because there is Rahu in my planet. Not be only Rahu. Now Mugu you go see inside your planet. It was so. See, the information is very important and you have it. But the purpose of the information is so that you can navigate with it. You can navigate that part because now you have information, you have consciousness, then you can navigate. Not so that you can now put yourself in a box of fear and doubt and negativity. We're going to stop there tonight. We're going to continue on Friday. So, guys, this is part 1. We'll continue with part 2, the law of the spirit. It's the only law that will free you and liberate you from the law of scarcity. The 36-day manifestation marathon begins on the 13th of December. It's a manifestation marathon and goal setting masterclass. 18-day manifestation marathon, 18-day goal setting masterclass. 13th of December to the 18th of January. And the informations are so much that one of the best way to take advantage of this is to click the link in the bio or send a DM if you want to register for that mastermind. Let me also remind you that the 18-day manifestation marathon is a virtual event, but the grand finale is on the 30th of December. The virtual event and the physical event will take place in Ghana on the 30th of December. And then on the 1st of January, we begin the 18-day goal setting mastermind. And that ends on the 18th of January 2025. So if you want to register, because one of the things we're going to do for you is to help you compartmentalize your 2025 goals so that you don't have, what do you want to manifest 2025? I want to manifest wristwatch. I want to manifest goat. I want to manifest hair. I want to manifest chicken. I want to manifest antelope. I want to manifest jugunu. I want to manifest. Come on, man. There is a way to compartmentalize your goals. I want to manifest chicken. I want to manifest ring. I want to manifest. Okay, you need money. Put that in your square of money and material things. I want to manifest husband. I want to manifest peace in my family. Put that in your square of family and relationship. Your diet, your health, that's another square. Your spirit life, that's another square. And we're going to help you plan and design this in a way that you can track them. You can track your progress every month, every 2 months, every 3 months. And this is why we have made it 36-day manifestation marathon and goal setting masterclass. Now, a lot of people, they've been asking, how do I use crystals? How do I use this? We are bringing someone who is very competent, who is going to speak to us on how to use crystals, how to activate your crystals, how to charge them. Someone is going to speak to us about that. We're bringing someone who's going to speak to us on meditation for manifestation. Somebody on the alchemy of food for manifestation. Because many people, the reason why you are heavy is because of the food you are eating. And when you are heavy, it becomes very hard to manifest. Because the food that you are eating, there are toxins in your body. So it's a very robust program that takes place for 36 days. From the 13th of December to the 18th of January. The grand finale of the first 18 days is on the 30th of December in Ghana. And we're going to be in Ghana from the 30th to the 4th. 30th December to the 4th of January. And then we continue in Nigeria and end it on the 18th of January. So once again, if you want to register for that, send a message to the number. We also have the VIP plan for 2025 because 2025, my focus is going to be more on the VIP program. And that's why we're going to take the number of people that we have capacity to manage. And it's not going to be that, there are people who have a lot of things they are doing. You have so many programs. You don't need it. Yeah, you don't need it because your spiritual life should be something that is a priority to you. But if you have other programs that won't give you time, you don't need it. You don't need to pay for something that you won't show up for. There's no need. Because many people, it's because of the fear of missing out. They are doing something, let me go and pay. But you are not available. You have paid. And money doesn't like that kind of behavior. If I pay for something, I will enjoy the value of that thing. That's why many times I sit down to watch my Netflix documentaries because I pay, so I will not pay for subscription and I don't use it for a whole month. Money doesn't like that kind of charlatanism. So if you are too busy, you don't have to pay. You don't have to join it. Because it's not necessarily about the money. It is to see results, to see people manifest results in their lives. So thank you so much, guys. And I will see you on Friday at 8 p.m. Shewa Ambassador is launching his book, and it starts on Friday too at 4 p.m. Holistic Entrepreneurship. Join the session, follow him, and join that session so you can get the book on Friday, on Saturday, or Sunday, and then when? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's 4 days. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. So thank you so much, guys. I'll see you on Friday for the continuation of this class. Thank you.